4, 5, 6 brothers. 1, 2. Boys! Hey, tu especial come assim, okay.
BODGAST. BODGAST.
What's up, vibers? Welcome to episode 8 of the BODGAST. My name is Formati Fresh, and today on the BODGAST we'll be talking men's mental health. However, though, before we do any of that, it is time to introduce today's sponsor, sponsoring, episode 8 of the BODGAST, New Zealand Police, New Zealand Bullers, New Zealand Police, and my man from the Tokoro station, Doug, the Toko, from the police station. He does fantastic work here in our community. Maroa pito.
Maro man, maro brother, thank you very much.
My man. How are you, man?
Good, thank you. Yeah.
Good to have you here.
Yeah, it's been it's just grateful to be around the crew and coming here to support this beautiful cause in regards to the men's group and how it's rolling through. So looking forward to it.
We just want to thank you for sponsoring episode 8 of the BODGAST. Much appreciated. You look pretty muscular in all your gear. Does it weigh you down a little bit, Docs, when you're out there doing your thing?
It does, but you train hard, get results.
Hey, I like that. That's why I always see you running out there, down towards the cheese factory. Yeah. Hey, my man. Always wondered who that guy was with no shirt on. Hey.
Thanks, mate.
All right, let's touch on some of the things Tokoro Police / New Zealand Police are doing in our communities.
Cool. Just first of all, maro pito for te lava, and thank you very much for giving us the opportunity. I think we got because the police are fully supporting our men's group, because there's a lot of things going around in the backyard of our police around regarding our men as well. Saying that we've got a lot of priorities that we have, especially around the Tokoro for our communities in regards to road safety. Especially it's winter time, so we're always trying to get out there and stuff and just help reach to our drivers to make sure that they reduce their speed, making sure that they wear their seatbelts, make sure they don't get distracted and on their phones. And the big one, I think the boys we talked about this earlier, is just around speed. Those are the biggest priorities for us, especially on Tokoro and nationally as well. And it all coincides with men's health. Just one story, just that we'll just put it all together and stuff. I had stopped someone just up in not far from here that got into an accident, and I went to check on him and another male, 2 males and stuff. So I went and checked on them, and they found that they had been drinking under the influence, but they had crashed beforehand. While I was talking to them, I was just asking a few questions and seeing if there's anything else I could help with, and then one of them kind of broke down. And that kind of, and broke down in the sense that he is going through some hard times at home. And this is all just my interaction with him. It came from him having an accident on the road under the influence of alcohol, and then it just had me coming in as like another support, another mate. It didn't come as a police officer. I took that hat off and just tried to talk to him, because he had been drinking and been on that road because he wasn't in the right frame of mind. And then what I did was I flicked them the numbers, and the boys know this. I flicked you guys some numbers, because I said to this guys, there's an amazing group in Tokoro. There's a bunch of men that all wrap around each other, that all look out for fellowship and look out for fellows like yourself that are going through tough times. Take that number, and if you can, give them a call. And he took it. Even though he knew that he probably did wrong, that he was drinking, he knew that he felt in peace that there was a bunch of good fellas like these guys in front of me that they're going to help them out. And that's the connection with police in our community. Malo.
My man, this guy. Hey, my man, Mr. Douglas Tolsina. I want to say, Tux, it's interesting you've just shared a story like that, because I've just come from a first aid course, and the tutor or the facilitator of that first aid course was Hydro, right? So thankfully it was Hydro, because I probably would have been bored shitless, but he came up, well, actually as a facilitator, he was awesome, and he also shared some stories in his job that involve mental health. So you actually just sharing that with me and the boys, and obviously getting a few stories from Hodgson today, and he's obviously part of this collective as well.
Right.
It's quite fitting that, you know, we're all sort of, all going to come together and have a chat about it. So with that being said, let's welcome the rest of the boys to episode 8 of the podcast. So we've got Corey, Tony, and Big Mike. Boys, welcome.
Morning.
Morning?
Morning,
It's
brother.
bloody afternoon, bro. What are you speaking?
Somewhere in the world it's morning, bro.
Sorry, bro. All right, but sorry. I like that. Woody. I like that. Sorry. Boys, I'm just going to laugh now.
Too
I'm
much
just gonna let it out.
celebrating the Queensland. last
It is Men's Mental Health Month. Am I right, Corey?
Yes, well,
Month?
every month, every day, every month should be men's mental health. So,
All right.
yeah.
So, Corey, let's start with you first. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
So I'm Corey Carter. Lived in Toke all my life. I'm a builder, have 3 lovely kids and a beautiful partner at home. And, they support me heaps of what I do with the community and with the mates, with what we do with this men's groups and stuff. So it's lovely.
Awesome. And before anyone decides to sort of, because you heard the build a bit, I'm next, okay? All right, cool as. What does men's mental health mean to you, bro?
Men's mental health to me means a lot, as in it's affected me, my family, friends of friends, in all different ways. I've had people take it too far, suicide, stuff like that. People not feeling themselves, people not being happy like the usual. So, I just try help out as much as I can, whether it's telling people you love them, say hello, wave out to randoms in the street, however we can help, we like to help. So that's what it means to me.
My man. All right, let's get across to the next handsome guy sitting next to you, who I understand, cheers for Queensland. Let's not say that too loud, but
100%, brother.
all right, tell us.
6 of the last 10.
6 of the last 10, but he's even got the
2
old.
of the last 3.
He's even got the old facts on board, Toko. Hey?
Might even be
Hey?
3-0 in 3 weeks' time, brother.
Humility, guys.
Oh, I tell you, brother, introduce yourself to all the viewers of the podcast.
Yeah, I'm Tony Herlihy. I'm Tokoro born and bred, 49 years and proud of it. Work at the mill, been out there 29 years. Men's mental health means a lot to me, similar to Corey. I'm a sufferer. I'm medicated. Proudly, I don't hide it. It's something that I think we should embrace and be free to talk about and be comfortable to talk about.
Love it, Tony. 29 years. What does your super look like? Must be pretty fat, eh?
Divorce, mate.
Hey? Oh.
Divorce pays. Divorce doesn't make it quite so sweet.
Love it, bro. They reckon, though, when you started at the mill, you just never go anywhere, eh? You just stay there.
Well, my intention was 2 years.
Yeah?
So
29 years. Or 20, yeah.
Past that, yep. And
Bro.
I'll probably be there 40 or
Probably,
45 like many
eh?
others, eh? So
Yeah, hard out. You'll be probably one of those blokes that they offer a whole stack load of money to stay behind, and you just cash it up and come back, eh?
quite possible.
I'm just
Quite
jealous.
possibly.
I'm just jealous. I need a job at the mill too, eh? You know? I don't know how I missed out on that. Eh? All the family I got working, I can't even get a job at anyway. Thank you, brother. Nice to have you along on the podcast. All right, this handsome bald guy on the end with all this facial hair, eh? No disrespect, meet my brother. Can you introduce yourself to all the viewers, the millions and millions of viewers on the podcast?
Kia ora, my name's Big Mike. I'm a stay-at-home dad of 4. And,
Yeah. By the sounds of things, bro, you like making kids, eh? Eh?
well, COVID had to do something.
My man. My man.
Had to get that cardio in somehow.
Love it, love it. And I just quickly want to go back to Tony. I want to ask him the question. What does men's mental health mean to you, Tony?
Oh, it means a lot. I think it's something that's been put on the back burner for way too long. And now it's about being loud and proud about it. Like, being open.
Me.
Yeah.
Love it. All right, Big Mike. What does men's mental health mean to you?
Like bro Tony said, means a lot. Means about speaking up, checking on the brothers, making sure they're not suffering in silence.
Nice. All right, Dux, I know you've introduced yourself to begin with, but want to elaborate a little more on yourself and your family situation? And
Yep, yeah, sure. It's been in it's another Tongan Doko MMT, 100%. But I've come into the beautiful heart of South Waikato, Tokoroa and stuff for the last 4 years. This is home. I can't see anywhere else. This is got a beautiful, diverse community. Pacifica, Maori, and our brothers, and it's just such a humbling feeling because all the guys here are such grassroots and they'll always have your back if something goes down. So that's what I love about it. And I've got a little family. I said I've got a little family. Interesting. Got a little combination of Japanese Tongan, so you get little Japanese kids running around here. But just bringing some flavour into Tokoroa.
That's what it's about, man. And I know when I first met you, up until today, you've always been community focused, for the people focused, and just fit right in like you've grown up here. Is it sort of how it's been for you?
Yeah, I think so. They said this is like always been growing up in South Auckland and stuff. So this seemed like the second little half of South Auckland as well, because of the real colourful community. Everyone's real giving, and it's got that village feeling, especially around helping each other when we're going through tough times. As the boys have said, a lot of us in the emergency game, we all go through tough times, but we don't talk about it. But having these subgroups, these groups in Tokoroa that we can go to if we are just looking for a friend, for a mate to just share a few stories, or bring it up and just hopefully make Tokoroa a better place and make it easier for us so we don't have to deal with them.
All right, love it. Okay, let's get to know you guys a little bit more. I know we're here to talk about mental health, and we can do that, and that's the reason why we're doing this. But give me a little quick snapshot, Corey, about you, school you went to, all that type of stuff, bro. How many girlfriends you had at intermediate? I hear you had a crush on a few.
One or two.
Right.
One or two. Yeah, so I grew up in Tokoroa, went to Kagwai Plan School for primary school, took it on intermediate, and I was just saying it would have been probably 15, 16 years ago. I was standing in the same room doing an interview with the bro for school class counsellor. So that was pretty cool. The bro put me on the spot back then and asked me who I liked on radio. Had to say it, obviously, and got a bit of a whack when I got outside because she was sitting beside me at the time. But cheers, Tiana Wiki. But yeah,
I love it.
Went to Forest View High School after that. Got into mountain biking there. Got a license and then gave up mountain biking. Got into cars and left school, become a builder. Loved it, never looked back. So been building for 11 years now. Into motorbikes, cars, you name it. Anything with motor, I'm into it, So
you're a bit of a fixer-upper, or
yeah,
no?
yeah.
Do you dabble a little bit in motors?
Yeah, a little bit, Like my best mate who's going to come along and support our men's help competes in drifting in New Zealand. So I crew for him, and we're actually heading over to Australia in another 2 months to represent New Zealand and Australia. So we all fix his cars, we build his cars, change tyres, do basic stuff like that. Build roll caders. We all got good mates that all help with everything. So that's what we get up to in our spare time.
So a pretty talented young toko here, eh? I noticed the other night when we had our little hui and you took off on your bike. That was pretty,
Yeah, it was nice and slow the way. I never speed,
Oh, just just watching it though, like it was.
Yeah. What time did it happen?
I just checked the CCTV at the countdown. It was like, I don't know. I mean, I can't ride a bike to save myself, but just love it. Thinking you were just standing here, and now you're just going. You know what I mean? Just
I love it.
What does that feel like, man? It must be a buzz, eh?
Yeah, I would say I've always ridden dirt bikes, and then I was lucky enough. My dad bought me a Herlihy at high school. Well, just after left high school.
Yep.
And since then, I've never looked back. So that's my time. When I'm feeling down, I go for a ride.
That must be a buzz. That's got to be a buzz.
I love it, eh? And just feeling the wind on you, it just takes you different to place. So I recommend it to a lot of people. If you don't know how to ride, learn. Yeah, it's probably the closest you're going to get to flying, I reckon.
Bro, I'll tell you, just watching the other night was like, whoa.
Booking for some bike lessons, my bro.
Gangster, that was like, because it's funny, in the islands, people ride around on motorbikes over in the Cook Islands, and and sort of, I like going to Aitutaki because there's only one cop on the island, so you have these little 125cc's, I think they are, those semi-automatics.
They're good.
And when you're cruising around on them doing, 70Ks, you're like, 80Ks is like, then you realise, I'm only wearing jandals and a lava, I better slow down a little bit. But that's only 80Ks, and even then, with the wind, making your lava go up, and, it's just, whoa, better slow down here, but watching you the other night, bro, was pretty gangster, bro. It sort of blew me away. It was like, ooh.
Yeah, to be honest, I think riding, I've been over the Cook Islands a few times, riding a bike over on the Cook Islands is 10 times better than riding a Harley in our roads, bro, straight up.
Wow.
This just feels so much nicer over there. It's warm.
Yeah.
Here it's cold. I left here the other night and, I I was frozen when I got home.
Oh, love it, Dave. Thanks for sharing that. Tony, give us a little sneak peek, snapshot on what you've been up to in all your years here in Take, schools, etc.
I did my primary at Balmoral, went through to Tainui Intermediate, and finished off with secondary school at Take High School. I've pretty much been into sport all my life. Played football for 40 plus years. Bit of golf, squash, pretty much anything that involved sport I got into. So
Thought you were going to say a ball, but yeah, we'll go with sport.
yeah,
Hey, I like that. Squash is an interesting game, Tony, isn't it?
yeah, it's pretty intense.
I've played it a couple of times.
It's not ideal for us big brothers.
Oh, I tell you, I played it with a couple of the solid boys back in the day. I won't mention any names because they'd probably be watching this, but yeah, after a couple of sessions, I just fuck this sport. This sucks, man. You're just making me run around. Like I couldn't figure it out at the time, but they'd just stand in the middle of the court and they'd just do this, and I'm like, why am I running left, right? And they're just standing in them, and I couldn't figure it out. I was just being competitive, just get real angry, and carry on. Because I played tennis, I sort of couldn't hit it with an open hand. I always used to flick my wrist, but yeah. So I couldn't really get the better of the boys I was playing with. So instead of us just having a big scrap and I win the scrap, I just gave up.
I played a game.
Yeah, good call, huh?
Played a game last week at Business House against a young lady, and she did exactly that. But I swore at her very quietly. Not,
And it's so hard to sort of. How do you bloody find a way to not for that to happen?
Oh, absolutely.
You
I
know,
was just
that's-
looking at her, shaking my head, and
They do it so easily. I don't advise that anyway, guys. I hate seeing young people watching it. Just times have changed. Sure. We've all changed. All right, good stuff, bro. Golf. What's your handicap?
21. I'm going
Oh,
out.
you're
I'm going
one of
out.
those guys, hey?
Yeah, they call
Hey,
us farm.
hey.
Handicap farmers. I think
Hey,
they
I
call
like
us,
that. Hey, Curry, I like that. What handicap? Oh, 21. Oh, you're one of those guys. Hey, humble 21 when really he's probably 12, 13.
Definitely
Hey,
21,
hey,
brother. Definitely 21.
Hey, the only one I believe is Donkey Star when he goes, oh, he's 31. Yeah, I believe that, bro. I believe that. But that's all right. We need to hook up for a game sometime.
I was much better in my younger days, but
They always say that, we all were sort of a lot better back in those young days. Anything else you do, brother? Hobbies?
no,
Apart from
not a lot.
sport?
Gym.
Gym?
Yep.
You enjoy that?
Love the gym. It's good for the mental health, brother.
All right, bro.
It's my medicine.
Good stuff, bro. Good stuff. Love it, brother. Thanks for sharing that with us, Tony. Big Mike Star.
So,
The Big Mike Star. All right, bro. Give us a little snapshot about your life, brother.
so born and raised in South Auckland. Went to Papatoa South, and then intermediate and high school I was over in Manarewa, and then became a bit of a gypsy, travelling the North Island from family house to family house, just trying to find my place in the world. And then found it in Tokoroa 6 years ago. Yeah, and since then just been making kids and going to the gym.
Making kids, going to the gym. I like the way Corey reacted to that because, he
I
obviously,
think he's in the same boat.
yeah.
He's catching up.
No more, bro. No more.
Hey, there's something about, and correct me if I'm wrong, because you used to be brought up in the South. Hey, you and Doug brought up in the South. But there's a certain way these fellas say South. They just got this little ring to it. See, when we say South Waikato, we say it like that, South Waikato. But when they say it, they're like, from myself. So, they got this. What do you think, boys? Am I making it up? Or I reckon the South's quite different, eh?
Yep.
They say a different South, but it's like not a gangster South. It's just the way they say South. Hey, like it's real, like, you come over this way, mate.
That makes it sound like it's Las Vegas or something.
Hey, so. No, I mean, I know this because I got a lot of family out of South Auckland as well. So, see, I think I just said it there, but there's a certain way they just say selfie, But yeah, but you always know when you're from South because people say it that way, If you're a Westie and you try to say South, it just doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't happen.
It's like an Aussie trying to say fish and chips.
Yeah. Fish and chips. $6. Anyway, Toko, tell us about you, bro. I know you've done plenty. You've been all over the world. Try and give us a little snapshot of where you've been, what you've been doing, what you've been up to, right up until now, Tox.
Yeah, so Yes, grew up. Started off, I think, as we spoke before and stuff, with all the islanders back in the day. We all started off in Central.
Yeah.
The OGs, eh?
Hard out all day.
Gwayland, Ponsonby.
Before we all headed out south. Grew up through there, went up through a bit of the light schools, kind of around Central, was at Manaba Primary, Kofa Intermediate, Manaba Grammar.
Maxie.
And then all through there, worked, mate, done every factory job out in South Auckland, picked, packed, dispatched, and then found my wife and moved over to Japan for about 6 years. Just like the last end of it, and had my 2 beautiful kids, and then rolled back, came back to Southside, and then had the opportunity to move down to beautiful Tokoroa.
My man. And I've always told Dokotua, Japanese cuisine is my favourite. It's my favourite, you know. I love Japanese food. It's just, but that's cool though, Docs, that, you know, I don't know if people don't know this, but yeah, well, up until now, they probably think you've been a cop all your life, but you've done this and that, and it was sort of like a career choice later in life.
I think it was always community based. I think my focus growing up with parents and stuff that are faith driven, through local and church and stuff. My dad was a bishop or minister, and he was always out there in the community doing stuff, just doing voluntary work. So I think it was just natural progression for me to get out there and do it, because I think it always was in my DNA to go out and help people. So jump in the police.
I forgot that's where your slickness came from, because Mormons are quite slicky, you know. Mormons are quite slick, eh? Let's just straighten that up. Stop it. All right. Anyway, Hey, let's come back to mental health, boys. Stories. Any of the brothers got stories they want to share with our viewers? Anything in particular? How you became part of this group, or how did you feel you needed a support for your mental health? How you even knew you had, mental health in your life, like is there a story you guys can pinpoint or share with anyone?
Yeah, well, with me, when I was at high school, we lost a lot of friends, like older than me, younger than me, to suicide, and it got really out of hand. Like when I was at school, we couldn't count on our hands how many people committed suicide, and being from such a small community, everyone knows everyone, and everyone's whānau friends to everyone. And as I got older, it kept happening with all ages. Some people were like 15 when I was at school, up to older, and then see like family commit suicide, stuff like that. And it was always a bit of a touchy thing for me. And then, later on in life, a few years ago, I started getting a bit of depression and anxiety real badly. So I used to try to hide it a lot, and then didn't really know what I had. And then my dad walked in one day, and I just burst out crying. Like I'm a loud, happy guy. Everyone knows me as that, and I started finding myself withering away and trying to hide. So got medicated and went to counselling. And then what got me is I went to the doctor, got a counselling session, got 5 free counselling sessions, and they rocked. So I kept going, but the only problem after that is I had to pay for them. And my biggest thing was they were $80 each, and I was willing to pay that. Now there's some people that can't pay it. So one of the bros, Shiloh and Tony, come up with Men's Minds Matters as a group we have. And so we started that through the gym. Thelma from MC Gym gave us her studio to have these meetings out of. So I just went just as someone, just another person. And then my goal was, if I can help one person in any way, I've achieved what I wanted. And then kind of got into it more, and I started talking a bit more at these things. And now we're just a big group of guys that get together and talk. It's nothing professional. We're all just working class men, so we do that once a month. So first Wednesday of every month down at MC Studio, we just have a bit of a gathering. Thelms and the ladies from MC put on a feed, bickies, chocolate. We had soup last week. It was great. So we just go down and have a bit of a hui, talk, see how people are going, just talk about general stuff around like what if mental health's affecting anyone. People get up and share if they want to. Some people don't, and that's fully alright. Like, we're just a safe place. If people want to yarn, they can yarn. So that's what we're up to. And yeah, I've met a lot of people. Like, I met Doug for a building job first, and then he come along to our men's group, and this is where we're at. You know, it's growing, and the more we get out there and see it, it's way more common than we think. It's too common. So we want, anyone wants to come, they're more than welcome. So yeah.
Okay, just want to ask you a personal question, because we ask anything on the podcast.
Right.
You mentioned there in your little story, you talked about suicide.
Yep.
Did you ever contemplate going down the same path as your mates did?
I never really got to that. I felt myself. What I used to do was get on a motorbike. You know, because we talked about earlier, I had a motorbike, and go as fast as I could for as long as I could. But if anything happened, I didn't care, but I never went out to do it. Like, if it happened, it happened. Like, if I crashed and I died, it happened, but I never went to put myself in front of a vehicle. I've got too much, like, now after I've got out of it, I look back now and go, wow, before I had kids, I had nephews and nieces to live for, you know, and they're my why in life. Now I've got my own kids, my nephews, nieces, kids, family, to me now is what life's about. So I'm glad I never got to that point, and I'm hopefully we can help other people that to step back from at that point, because that's too far. You can't reverse what you do. So yeah, we're all about whānau, eh?
Harder, and that's true though. I mean, and the fact that nothing happened to you while you were on those bike rides tells me that you're meant to be here for a reason.
Oh,
so,
exactly, bro.
That's one thing I like pushing with youth. You know, you're meant to be here for a reason.
Yep.
Stay here, man. Find out what that why is.
Yep.
You've found out what that is, but you're still putting in those little steps.
Yeah,
Men's
life's too short as it is, you know. Like, you know, I'm getting old. I'm 28 now. I feel like I'm getting old. Life flies when you get old. So before we know it, we're going to be 70, 80. Like, why do we want to shorten our lives more by doing dumb stuff?
Hard.
You know, live a good, solid, hard life. Like, have fun, live life, because you don't know when it's over. So
exactly,
just don't make it shorter.
Exactly. Thanks for sharing that with us, Corey. Tony, you got a story you can share if you want to about your journey and how we eventuated to this point?
Probably a little bit well, not the same as Corey, but like I've had my mental health struggles for 20 plus years. I was probably blessed or cursed, where you want to put it. It's hereditary in my family. I've always been pretty open about it. Like Corey, I've been medicated, been through counselling. Yeah, and there's not enough services for us all. Definitely, like, yeah, I've had some pretty deep struggles with it. Gym's my way out. Sadly, I've used vices like alcohol to numb it. Thankfully, not drugs, but alcohol definitely. Yeah, I spoke yesterday when we were talking that someone like Corey sort of opened my eyes a little bit to mental health, to the severity of it. When you see someone that I've seen Corey grow up. He thinks he's old. He's got no idea. Just wait for the next 20 years when you feel like me, brother.
I'll get there.
You know, when I saw him struggle, I was like, man, this mental health thing is shit. Like, you know, walk out to the end of the driveway and here he is sitting at the end of his truck crying, and it's like, man, that's not Corey. You know, and you know, hopefully I could be like I was to him. I was like, where I want to talk about it. You know, my door's open. You know, give me a ring.
Hard.
Yeah.
I suppose one thing I love about it too, when you boys are just talking now, I can feel the emotion. I can just know that, you know, it's played a massive part in your fellas' lives, you know, and, you know, I give you guys, you know, real big ups, man, for getting to this stage. And it's not easy to sit there and talk about it, you know. A lot of people, especially men, don't like talking about it, you know. And I mean, it's like me, I hate going to the doctor. I never go to the doctor. Even if the doctor rings and says, I haven't seen you in 5 years, you can wait another 5 years. Oh, but what about this, what about that? No, I'm all good, I feel awesome, you know. But it's a male thing, and it's something that, all males seem to do, you know, just seem to try and cover, and especially when you said, Corey, too, about, you know, funny guys have always, 99% of the time, you know, there's something a little bit deeper, because laughing is part of healing, is part of what we do to, you know, sort of hide what's really there, you know. So, it's definitely awesome that you fellas have shared your journey thus far and how you got to this point. Big Mike.
In relation to the question you asked to Corey about, thinking about suicide, I went to a counselling session once, and she said to me, "I'm going to ask you 2 questions right at the very start of our session. Have you thought about suicide?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course I have." She goes, "Yeah, well, that's, sadly a statistic is probably 80% of people have thought about it. But my next question is the serious one. Have you planned it? Because if you planned it, that's what we need to talk about, that we need to delve into that." And I said, yeah, of course I have, And so she said, the statistics behind people that have planned it is still 60, probably 50 to 60% of people, and that as a statistic is horrendous, But to know I was part of that thing, but yeah, they were the 2 questions that were asked of me at the very start of the session. So,
and sometimes I think, especially around suicide, my own personal opinion, I truly don't believe, people are straight up about it. Like, it's still, to this day, it's still that thing that no one sort of really wants to touch on, when people should just come out and talk about it a lot more, because it's real. Stats amongst, I only know the stats amongst Pacific Islanders, they're through the roof. Pacific Island youth, it's out the gate, and the more we just have a little group there, have a little group there, oh man, we need to run massive campaigns on it, man. Just
definitely, bro. Definitely.
Put it right out there, but no one does. No one does. People want to put money here to have a group there to talk about here. I don't go to any of these groups because that's not me. I don't want to talk about it. I want to do something about it. Let's do something about it, man. Because sometimes at the end of the day, a lot of our young people, and probably everyone here can know what I'm talking about. They just want a bit of quality time, or just want a hug, or just want to. It's gonna be okay.
Yep.
A
big thing like between me and my mates is we're guys. My best mate Braden. Everyone knows who Braden is. Always get a message, or even on our chat. Love you, bro. Have a good day, bro. Those go a massive way, because men don't say that stuff, So little stuff like that means the most to us brothers, and it's something so small can mean so much. So yeah, you're right, bro.
Definitely,
little things like that make a big difference.
It's huge. And I remember about 5 years ago, I had a girl in my group, my little youth drug and alcohol group that I had, with young people. She had a saying which I've always taken. It's just a bad day. It's not a bad life, and that's so true. It is. It's just a bad day. It's not a bad life. So I've always used that and taken that along because there's so much truth there amongst both female and male. It's just a bad day. You get up tomorrow will be better, man. It's not a trigger to, I just don't want to be here no more, So I think sometimes people just don't address the issue front on. And that's what annoys me. And one thing I say to young people that I work with, especially males, why would you want to go top yourself over her? I said, in 3 months' time, she's gone and got another boyfriend. You're totally forgotten about. And I says, who's the people that are here suffering? Your family. The people that didn't ask for this. And 20, 30 years down the line, they're still suffering. She's probably been married 5 times and got 100 kids. You know what I'm saying, though? It's like, come on, boys. Common sense. Do we really need to get on that path? And I feel like people just need to be straight up with people and tell them what's up, what's going to happen, and what's truly going on. Because as young males, because we're talking about men, that's all they want to hear. They don't want to, And I feel like a lot of it, we talk about it afterwards. Oh, bro, should have seen that. Oh, this and that. But I definitely believe a lot more needs to be done about it, bro.
Yeah, I can give you one example of, when you go down that road and you can see no light at the end of it. And what might change that a little bit, and hopefully this might help someone if they're thinking that way. I went to the cemetery one day to say goodbye to my parents. Walked out onto the main road, straight in front of a truck. Looked at the truck driver, saw this look in his eyes. Only reason I stood off the road. Walked off to the side of the road, had a big cry, walked home, rang one of my mates. Bro, I need you. I'm not going to tell you why, I need you. And 5 minutes later, he was in my driveway. 8 hours later, he went home. But he wasn't going to go home. He was going to stay there with me because he was worried. And I said, no, bro, that thought, I wouldn't say has gone, but,
that's all you needed.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
all you needed at the time.
And I hope my honesty, as I said, I'm pretty open about it. I hope my honesty can help someone, if they feel that way, that they can, reach out to someone.
Definitely. Thanks for sharing that, Tony. Thanks for sharing that. Big Mike, what about you, bro? Your mental health journey. How did you end up here? How did you become part of? Is it Tumutani?
Yes, it is. So I've been suffering depression for probably since I was 10 years old, but didn't even know it. And then I met my wonderful wife nearly 10 years ago, and she got diagnosed with it. And then I started seeing the similar signs and stuff, and then I was like, oh, maybe I've got it too. And when I moved down to Toke, it got real bad. I even attempted suicide. I parked on the train tracks and I fell asleep. Woke up and I was still here, so I kind of like sleeping it off kind of got me out of that thing. And then my partner, like a couple of years later, my partner introduced me to this group, and yeah, it just really helped me to learn to speak up and it's not weak to speak. And yeah, and then we had a break with this one over COVID and stuff, and then I jumped onto the Men's Minds Matters, and it just helped me stay more motivated to get other brothers to reach out for help and stuff. Yeah.
Nice. Do your kids play a major part in where you are?
Yeah,
you know,
they
decisions.
do now. Like Corey was saying, life's too short. Yeah, I always like look at them and think they wouldn't be here if I wasn't here type scenario, because I got 4 under 4, and
You're a machine, bro.
4 under
Straight
4.
not
up.
me, bro. The wife, she did all the hard work. I did all the
4
fun
under
part.
4. Oh.
And yeah, so that attempt was, like I said, when I first moved down here about 6 years ago. And if it had succeeded, I wouldn't be here today. So I raised my kids. Yeah.
You know, same thing I said to Corey, to Tony and you. You guys are here because you're still meant to be here. Hey, you know. And that's really just the truth of it all, you know. We're all here because we're all still meant to be here.
Yeah.
If we're not meant to be here, we won't be here. You know, it reminded me of a kid many years ago who I had an interaction with who got into some trouble with a black power. Not too sure if you used to remember it. You might remember it. Got run over on Babington. I won't mention his name, but he survived, amazingly survived. And we had an interaction about a year after that, and he couldn't believe he'd survived. And I said, mate, you've survived because you're meant to be here. And I says, you know, grab onto that because life, like you boys say, you're still here because you're meant to be here. Do something with your life, man. That's what it's about, eh? Gives you that second opportunity to do something with what's been given to you, because I think it's a blessing every morning when you get up. Doesn't matter whether you get up with aches and pains, but it's still a blessing. Okay? Life's a blessing, mate. You just get on out there and do what you got to do. Dux, what about you, my man? Mental health.
Yeah, mental health and stuff. I talked to the guys. It was massive. I think it was only to my later years that I knew that there was kind of, you know, everyone's got trauma. Everyone's got past experiences, that sometimes comes back and bites you in the ass. You know, there were some things that happened to me, or indirectly or directly and stuff when I was a kid, and it affected me growing up. But the thing is, a lot of my family and stuff didn't know, and so, but you take it and then you just try and educate yourself to try and beat it and be the man, hold it strong and stuff. However, as I was telling the boys, I told my story and stuff when it came into the working space and coming into the police and stuff. It started affecting me. So that whatever trauma comes up, it comes back and it hits you later on when you're trying to conceal it for that long, and so it happened to me so much and stuff that was starting to probably affect my work. And I know a lot of guys here in the police and stuff, or in these agencies, you can't hide trauma. You can't hide things that happen to you. It's just you got to find a way to beat it. And talking with a few of the guys, and I've always been looking around these groups and thinking, man, am I going to be that guy that's going to be a police officer to join these guys, or am I going to hang back and pretend that I'm going to tough guy that's going to save them? Nah, if I want to meet these guys halfway, I got to get right into the dungeon. Got to get into that cave and sit there with them and say, hey, I need some help, or I've got the help that I need now. Because as you're saying, I went to, when things started struggling and stuff through mahi, you know, when same thing as being an island brother, you're supposed to just go to church and pray to make those pastors, those transgressions go away. But I went and finally took our specific professional help, which is not unheard of from the south side when we were growing up. You just go to find a room, do a prayer, and hopefully things will work out. But I took that help, and it's been it's probably been the biggest draw card and stuff in changing my life. I think that and a bit of the man upstairs, but seeking professional help and stuff is what got me through, and hence why I'm here. And now I feel like I've been saved. Now I'm just trying to see how I can bring my energy to try and prevent another brother like us just going through those hardships, and that's where I'm at.
Nah, love that stuff. I've just got some information on my phone, boys, which I'm just going to share it with all our viewers of the podcast. Episode 8, proudly brought to you by the New Zealand Police. I do that really good, eh, boys?
Professional, bro.
I do that fantastic. Where is it? Here we go. Recent. Just some numbers for our viewers of the podcast. If you need to talk, ring or text 1737. It's cool that number's still around. That's been around since COVID. Again, text 1737. There's Healthline 0800 611 116. That is Healthline. Lifeline 0800 543 354. Also Youthline for our rangatahi that are out there viewing. 0800 376 376. And there's Suicide Helpline 0508 828 865. And obviously in all emergencies 111, eh?
Beautiful, brother.
Hey, but yeah, and I must say, reach out to those numbers, and I must say that's what I enjoyed today. Hytro put that up on the board. It's not part of the first aid course, but he took a little half an hour to talk about mental health. I didn't tell him I was doing this. I just took a photo and thought, hey, I'll share that when we're all sitting down, even though I should know all those numbers off by heart. But it's important that men who are watching, or anyone for that matter of fact, knows that there is help available. And I do want to say, there is holes all over the place in the system. I'm not going to say the system's perfect. The system's f***ed, if I'm to be honest with you. Yep. However, you take what we're given, you take what we got, and we just roll with it. It's not going to get any better anytime soon, if at all. But there are people there who are willing to listen to you, to help you, and like a lot of you had mentioned, your friend circles are really important, eh? Friend circles are so important, and I do challenge everyone to sort of reach out to those spaces. And I think you guys are doing a massive job. Men's minds matter, and you guys have a big day coming up on the 20th, the 19th,
20th, bro, of July.
20th of July. Tell me about that day, Corey.
Oh, it's a bit of a massive day planned. A lot of us, like Men's Mind Matter, the bros, we're all coming together from men's groups all over the South Waikato, encouraged by the bro over here, and so we're all coming together doing a men's mental health day. So it's going to be a whole day thing stretched out. So morning, we're going to have a barbecue for the brothers that want to come, like a trade breakfast. We have a bit of a feed and drinks, coffees and stuff like that. Down at the men's shed in the morning on the 20th, so come along to that. More than welcome. We have a few people talking if you want, and if you want to yarn or just come for a feed, all good. And then during the day, we're hoping to get to the high schools. We want to reach out to year 12 and 13-year-olds, just transitioning, into becoming men. So we're going to go Tokai, Forest, Te Herenga, Pataduru College, and the Kura in Pataduru as well. And then that evening, we got a bit of a big night planned, 5 o'clock down the event centre. There's going to be all sorts of live music, basic health checks, if you want to come check your blood pressure or whatnot, that's all going to be down there. Going to have, hopefully, Orps giving someone a tattoo or something, I hope. The bros, into it. I'm going to have a few people down there, some guest speakers, and a big feed, That's the part that gets to everyone, to men, is a big feed. Food. We all love food.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
2 ways to a man's heart, eh?
Hey.
Yeah.
There is. Hey.
But yeah, that's the plan. So if anyone's watching and keen to reach out or have a stall or something at one of our events, reach out. well, everyone knows who we are. If you're watching, you're going to know one of us. Hit us up. You know, we've got a bank account if you want to donate some money or donate some spot prizes. We'll take whatever we can to give out to people. So,
Nice.
yeah.
I just want to ask you guys, under that banner, Men's Minds Matter, you guys created your own Facebook page or Instagram or anything like that yet? No.
It's in the process. We have a private one for people that come to a men's group, but we want to make it a more public one. We're going to make a so our group that we're doing for this is South Waikato Brotherhood Collective. So we're going to start that up and start sharing it around with posters. So if you see our poster around, share it on Facebook. See this, share it. It means a lot to all of us, and our community needs it. So
You guys going to get some patches too?
oh, of course.
Hey?
So-
maybe you get some patches, but they have it on the front
Yeah.
rather than the back.
So if anyone's whiz with screen printing or anything like that and keen to hook a brothers up, we're always after some t-shirts to, you know, promote
Actually, I
our
like
stuff
that, man.
too. So
I like that name, Tux. I like that. Hey.
So
Hey.
yeah, our thing is it's too common, you know, it's too common,
It's too common.
which is big. So
Love
yeah,
it.
that's our plans, and hopefully we can it fires off. We can make it annual. You know, it's all passion. We're all passionate about it. So if we can do it every year, we're going to smash it. We're going to do it.
Mean. So for anyone watching this podcast, especially males, but like I say, all those numbers that I mentioned before, we'll chuck them all up in the description. But for men who are watching this, even young men
Yep.
who go, man, I want to come along to the group. I want to come along on whenever it is. Is it once a month?
Yeah. So
How does that work?
For our one, for Men's Minds Matters, it's the first Wednesday of every month down at the MC studio on Campbell Street, across from Pit Stop's the easiest way to find it. And 7 o'clock, come down, pull up a seat, have a feed.
All right, good stuff. Good stuff. It's good to know that. It's good to put that stuff out there because, you know, sometimes the men won't message you, or you know how it rolls. Maybe, you know, if they lock that somewhere in the back of their mind, it will trigger.
Yeah.
You know, first Wednesday of every month, and maybe they'll turn up because that's probably what you guys are after, eh?
Pretty much.
Getting the awareness out there, getting the message out there, getting more people to come along. Yeah.
And there's Man Up too, every Monday, 7 o'clock. What's
The community centre on Swanson Street.
Swanson Street? You know,
I know, on Mannering Street, sorry.
Mannering Street. So they're 7 o'clock every Monday. Colin Dawson, who can't be with us today, he runs that. And that's another real good program that a lot of people do. For the older people, there's the men's shed. I don't know much about them, but they're a good bunch of old fellas that are keen to get in and, you know.
I've got to
do
give them a
stuff
special
together.
mention, mate. My father-in-law goes along there,
we go.
and they do a lot of really cool things for the community. Like,
They do, bro.
I know people who want stuff built or help at home, whether it be plumbing or a little, little jobs that go along and do that. They're awesome.
Our Men's Mind Matters Facebook page is a public page.
Oh, that's
Awesome.
sorry.
Our
Okay.
chat is private, but
Yep. Your page is
our
public.
page is public.
Oh,
yes.
there you go.
Oh, there you go. Men's Mind Matter. Get along and check out their Facebook page. They'll have all of the details on there on what's happening on the 20th.
20th. Yep.
Thursday,
Yeah,
Thursday.
Yeah,
Thursday.
20th of July.
Love that. I definitely am available that day.
Yep, there'll be posters everywhere, bro. We plan on putting these posters every shop front, anywhere we can find. People want them on the fences, come put one on the fence. You know, we want this publicised as much as we can. We want to reach out to as many brothers, as cousins, uncles, granddads as we can. So, yeah, if people don't see them, tell them, you know, come along. It's,
All right.
it's
Love
awesome.
it. I tell you what, time flies when we're having fun, and I know we've got to sort of cut it off here, and maybe we can come back for another podcast and chat some more about men's mental health. But before we wrap it up, boys, is there something you'd like to leave the viewers with today, Corey?
My biggest thing, as I mentioned it before, is tell everyone you love them. Tell people have a good day. That goes the longest way ever. You know, like a good morning, or tell your mum and dad you love them too. You don't know when they're gone. Just love, care for your family. Make an imprint on life while you're here. You know, so
I love that, bro, because that's one of my big messages as well. Love fixes everything. And I know people look at you and go, hey, but it does.
Mm-hmm.
Love goes a long way to fixing everything. If the world had more of it, anyway, you can fill in the rest. Tony.
I think just don't suffer in solitude. We, as you said, our system's shit when it comes to mental health, but there is facilities, there is people, there is friends, there is family that'll be there when you reach out. So reach out, ask for help.
Hard out.
Don't be shy. don't think we're tough like we were brought up to be. That men are meant to be tough and not soft. Who gives a shit what people think? Reach
Hard
out.
up, bro. Hard up. And I just want to elaborate on that, Tony. You know, I work in the system myself, and I have a lot of good friends that work in the system. Even though the system's shit and it's broken, there are some amazing people who do just crazy, superhuman things in the system. And it's not an attack at them. I'm just stating a fact.
Yeah.
You know, and I just want to say that because some people might go, oh, he's having a go. No, I'm not. There are some awesome people that work in the system, but we can't help it because we all work in a system that's broke.
The system from the top is
You know,
shit.
it is.
Down on the
You know?
on grassroots, down in the level where you guys work is fantastic.
Tell you.
As you said, you work with what you're given,
Oh, hard up.
and there's some fantastic people in that.
If you're given a bread with no butter, well, just got to go with no butter. Hey, hey, that's a tough one, eh, Corey? It's a tough one.
Bro, that's hard
Hey?
as.
And then when someone gives you margarine, it's like, nah, come on. Only butter tastes like butter. Mike knows that. Mike, what's something you want to leave all our viewers with?
Just checking on your brothers, or checking on anyone. Mental health doesn't affect just males. And if you are suffering, you speak up. Don't suffer in silence. It ain't weak to speak. Yeah,
Mike carries that with him everywhere he goes. Literally.
Yo,
literally.
Yeah.
I love it, bro. I love it. That shows what it means to you, what that phrase means to you,
Yeah.
how important it is to you, and yeah, that's mean, Mike. That's mean, bro. Thanks for sharing that.
Thank you.
Dux, my man.
Yeah, I think for me, just to close it off and stuff, I just want to always acknowledge the boys here. You know, for us from the police perspective, there's massive support. I've come in from just around the back to see what my connections, We're always linking in. That's how we roll to offer these guys, and I'm always there to thank, you know, just a few names in regard to South Waikato, Pacifica Community Services, SWIPEX, Raukawa, District Council, Lions Club, TCOS. These guys, I've had conversations with them, and they love what's going on, and they see the heartbeat in these guys, and they want to help. So it's always a massive thanks to them, and just a special thanks to the guys, Men's Mind Matter, Tumutane, and the Man Up 2.0, which is these guys here. To me, you can't get more grassroots than that. These guys are coming straight from the hood, and I love that because you and I have all come out from the hood as well, and seeing this, and I want to watch them grow, and it's just beautiful. So acknowledging those guys that are our big guns that are hopefully going to help these guys, and for these guys to do it, man, it's beautiful because I can't wait. For me, a goal is to see this be sustainable, and as fellas like us, we'll keep upping these fellas to make it work,
Hard up. Love it. Boys, it's been fantastic. And I suppose, let's plan on doing this again, brothers, sometime soon.
Keen, bro.
I want to leave you guys with a little bit of not advice, but a saying, boys, and it's something that I share with all the young kids that I work with. You know, rest at the end, never in the middle, because there's still plenty of work to be done. All right, set your goals, focus on it, and achieve what you've set. So, boys, what I'll say to you today is, rest at the end, boys. Plenty of time to rest at the end, but never in the middle. So that should keep you fellas going for however long this journey goes for, and all the support along the way, because that's what it's about. Someone has to do the work. But boys, I really loved having you guys in today. I know we've run out of time, but that's what happens when we've got all these talented people sitting at the table. He's got to go back to chase baddies around, and Corey's got to go back and, he's got to go and cheer for Queensland, and Mike's got to go to his 40 kids. Hey? Something like that, boys. But I appreciate it, and it's really been awesome having you guys in the Raukawa Vibe studio. Let's do it again sometime soon, all right, boys?
Awesome, brother. Thank you very much for
Cheers, brother.
putting it on for us.
My man.
Awesome, thank you.
Appreciate it. That's episode 8 of the podcast. I'd like to thank the New Zealand Police, my man, my toko here, and the Tokoro branch for sponsoring this episode. We'll be back next time with more superstars in our community on episode 9 of the podcast. Till then, take care.
Podcast. Podcast.